Hello guys, it's Azrael here from PMC and off my YouTube if you actually checked it out. Today I'm going to be giving you a tutorial on how to create your own TeamSpeak 3 server. It's actually, like I said, if you actually read the first tutorial about creating your Minecraft server, it's actually a lot simpler than you really think it is. It's really just port forwarding and setting it up and configuring it properly. First, of course, you're going to have to download the client and the launcher. So we would go to here, www.teamspeak.com/page equals download. And if you can't read the link up here, I'll be posting it in the description below or in the PMC post. So I'm a Windows user and I use 32-bit, and I'm a 32-bit, so I would download the client 32-bit, and I would download the 32-bit for the server launcher. Now make sure that you already have this selected as TeamSpeak instead of NetPlayers or Game D DE. I don't know. And then you would click download. Once you have these two downloaded, then you can move on with the next step. Since I already have these downloaded, I'm not gonna touch these since it's way too time consuming. Once you download the client 32-bit, you'll get this icon right here on your desktop, and you can just open that up whenever you want. I hope I just didn't open that up. Oh well. And then once you download the 32-bit for the server client or the 64-bit, you'll get a zip folder, and you'll open up that zip folder, and you'll get go away. You open up that zip folder, and you'll get the TeamSpeak 3 32 Win 30 or server Win 32 or Win 64. Now I have 32, so I'll get something like this. So let's just open that up, and then we'll just minimize it, only because we'll deal with that later. Next thing, as you have guessed, you're gonna need to port forward this. So first, in order to get to your port forwarding area, you're gonna have to enter your default gateway into a URL bar. So what we'll do is, in order to find it, you just type CMD by pressing. Once you get up to your CMD command prompt, you're gonna do ipconfig. Let that load, and then you use your default gateway right here. So mine is 192.168.1.1. So I would enter that into a URL bar, and I already have this. I have this already done, so I'm not going to enter it into a URL bar. I already have the page up and running. Once you actually go into your, once you actually enter this into your URL bar, it will ask for a username and password. For most users, it's admin and as the username, and for the password, it's password. So, and if it's not that, just ask somebody who actually does know. Usually it's your parent or guardian, or you can also ask your ISP. Alright, so next what we're going to do is we're going to go into what we have here is my TS3 server, and that's all my information below. So we're just going to edit the service, just to see what it looks like. See right here, authentication required, so admin, password. Alright, so now that we have this all loaded and everything's been entered properly, we're going to title our server's name TS3 server. And then our server's type will be TCP/UDP if you're using Netgear Genie. If you're not using Netgear Genie, you'll be going into your applications in Silent Gaming. But for Netgear Genie, it'd be port forwarding, port triggering in advanced setup under advanced. If your router doesn't have a TCP or /UDP setting or a both setting, then you're gonna have to create a TCP application and a UDP application, and you'll have to create. Get out of here. You have to create two different ones, and they'll all have the same information. So let's start with our ports. It has to be 9987. It's the default port. You have to use that port. And then now you're going to have to enter in your internal IP address, which mine is 192.168.1.2. But if you don't know that, just go back into your CMD, and then it'll say IPv4 address, and that's your internal IP. So you can just use that. Once you have everything set up like that, you're done. Just click apply. So we'll let that apply. And I'll minus out of that. And I'll minus out of that. Get out of here. Alright. Next thing we'll do is we'll open this back up. As you can see, there's a bunch of things to click on and we can look through, but we're not going to look through anything except this one right here. TS3 server 132 or 164, whichever one we have. Double click that. and it'll start creating a bunch of folders. Don't freak out, it's kind of necessary. It's just creating your server for you. And then what will happen is it'll appear with a gray screen, a gray part of your screen. It'll ask, do you want to run this for Windows Firewall, applications, if you have anything set up with your firewall or anything like that. And it'll ask you if you want to run this, and you'll click run. Next, what you do is it'll pull up with a gray screen, and it'll give you 3 important information that you need to know. So when this comes up, pull back up your run thing, type in notepad. No. Bad computer. Notepad. And then at the very bottom, it'll say something like admin registry key. Copy that, and then paste it into your notepad. And then you can exit out of that. And then you can start up your TeamSpeak 3 client. So we'll just pull this up, and we'll get out of here. And then what you need to do is that you can connect using your internal IP address or your IPv4. So just connect. And so basically it's the same thing. So we'll log in, and what will happen is you'll only have one channel, and it'll say channel 1, and a pop-up will appear, and it'll ask for the registry key to give you admin, because nobody's claimed server admin yet. So you can just copy and paste what you have in Notepad, paste it in, and press enter or click OK, and then you'll get this little symbol right over there. This has an S on it, and that means server admin. And that's it. You've successfully created your default TeamSpeak server. Now, let's get into some more important configurations. Like, for example, coming up here, I have mine, and it says legit PvP. You can edit this out by doing the edit virtual server. Name it whatever you want. Give it a phonetic name or a password or whatever you need if you want people to have a password in order to join. You will not be able to change your 32, your maximum client, so don't try. And then you can possibly change your reserved slots. The welcome message, you can always change that, but mine, I'm just leaving it welcome to our TeamSpeak 3 server. Just apply all that you want to add, and then okay. The next important thing that you'll need is you might need to want to create a channel. So just create a channel. I'll name it test channel. You can add a password if you want. Well, that's only if you want certain users that actually can join. And then you can also do topic.
Disconnected. Connected.
Is a test channel. And then also add a description. And have a channel type. Permanent. Because if we put it temporary, it will replace the very bottom channel. And then you can add needed talk power. And then you can sort this after any channel that you want. So we'll do staff chat room. And you can do the same thing with creating a sub channel, but we'll delete that. Next thing, as a server admin, you can change the description of yourself, priority speaker. You can make yourself a priority speaker or others, or you can make others a channel commander or yourself. You can also set the groups for server groups for people, and you can also set the channel groups for people. Now, the difference between server groups is that if I made myself, let's say, a plugin developer, I would show up as the icon for a plugin developer, and it would say in my server groups, a plugin developer, and it would show up on every single channel. Now, if I did it for channel, and if I went to channel group, and I set myself as an operator, as you can see, I'm an operator right here, but if I log down into PvP, I'm no longer an operator. So basically, it's only for channels. It's literally what it means, channel group. So yeah. You can also create your own channels by going up to the permissions, or create your own groups by going up to the permissions and go to either server groups or channel groups, whichever one. You can tab over, whatever you want, and then you can just click this little plus sign right here. Test group. Give them guest. Okay. And that's it. You can also delete it.
Channel created.
And it's the same thing with channel groups.
Channel deleted.
You can also have, give them permissions. And that's it. You've successfully created your TeamSpeak 3 server. I wish you all good luck, and I'm going to be signing off.
Channel group changed. Channel switched. Channel switched.